Chapter 71 The 8-Color Bodhi Pill of the 8-Color Sky Thunder. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 71. With a sneer on his face, the starstruck old ghost, a mere first-rank 5-star Dou Zun, even if he possesses the power to reach the sky, is nothing more than a gnat shaking a tree in front of a strong person in the Douxing realm. If it wasn't for coveting the mortgage of those strong men, it would be impossible to let Tang Zhen, the owner of Fenyan Valley, just like that. 5,000 million gold coins, that with the permission of Zhaixing Tianzuan, Duck Guardian immediately held up a sign and said an outrageous price. Tang Zhen, the owner of Fenyan Valley, squinted his eyes halfway, with a strange look on his face. This time he came alone, so naturally there was no helper, but the other party was aggressive. Obviously it was impossible to just let Long Yu Neji go. Now that there are only 2 auction items, it is not a clear move to tear your face at this moment, but the attraction of Long Yu Neji is too great. Even if he can't get it, he still has to be a stumbling block. Thinking of this, the corners of Tang Zhen's mouth curled up. Million gold coins. As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar. All the forces showed horrified eyes. 5,000 million gold coins. What a concept this is. Even a 6th-grade pharmacist like Alchemy King Guha couldn't take out million gold coins at one time, and Long Yu Neji was only million at most. The owner of Fenyan Valley deserves to be the strongest in the Zhongzhou continent, and his actions are so generous. The old ghost who picked up the stars was also taken aback by the sudden price. He never dreamed that Tang Zhen, an old man, would bid million gold coins. This is obviously going to fight their soul haul to the end. Guardian Duck said gloomily, Tianzuan, why don't we give up? The price of million gold coins is really too high, although our soul palace doesn't care about these gold coins, but there are other items to be auctioned. Too much waste here. Ha! The old ghost picking stars snorted coldly. It's just a 5-star Dou Zun. Do you really think that your background can beat my soul palace? Before coming here, the palace master has already told me that if you encounter any precious treasures, you will get them at all costs. It's only million gold coins. Keep increasing the price. Seeing Zhaixing Tianzuan like this, Guardian Duck couldn't help frowning. If this continues, it may be difficult to get the next lot. Obviously, Zhaixing Tianzuan is already jealous, but under the majesty of Tianzuan, Dharma Guardian can only submit obediently, and say the sky-high price of 2,000 million gold coins. Seeing that the goal has been achieved, Tang Zhen, the owner of the Fenyan Valley, returned to his seat, took a sip of hot tea, and said with a smile, Old ghost picking stars, since you want it so much, then this deity will let it go and give it to you. Gone. Humph, that the old ghost picking stars snorted angrily, this immortal. He can really speak. If he hadn't directly raised the price to million gold coins, he wouldn't have spent more gold coins to buy it. However, the palace master has ordered that if he can get it, his status will definitely be promoted one step further. 150 million gold coins. 2,000 million gold coins twice. Is there any further price increase? Ye Fei smiled softly. Is there any higher level, for example, 3,000 million? Ye Fei looked around at the boxes. If there were no more boxes, she would be given the hammer. Then, 2,000 million gold coins 3 times, deal. Let us congratulate the old star-seeking old ghost in the number 2000 box for successfully bidding, million gold coins for the Long Yu Naring that can hold, cubic meters. Don't you think it's dull? Then let's start another climax again. I think many people will be interested in the items to be auctioned. Ye Fei smiled coquettishly, whetting people's appetites. I saw Ye Fei's fingers snapping slightly, and Niu Meng was holding a box made of high-quality Xuan. Above the box exuded a somewhat shocking aura. Ye Fei pursed her seductive red lips, and gently opened the box. In an instant, the sky and the earth changed color, and a powerful shock wave instantly enveloped the entire Tiange Pavilion. If it wasn't for Deng Tiange's intentional restraint, I'm afraid this energy will destroy all nearby creatures. This is... Everyone stared at this strange pill in astonishment, with a complicated look flashing across their eyes. pills, for practitioners, are essential things when going out, and high-level pills are of great benefit to one's own growth. That's why alchemists can obtain extremely honorable status in the Douqi continent. After reaching a certain level of cultivation, due to the differences of people, it is inevitable that there will be bottlenecks. At this time, it is extremely important to have an elixir for breakthrough. This thing is called Bodhi pill, and it is an 8-grade pill of 8-color sky thunder. Bodhi pill is an 8th-rank elixir. Its function is to increase the chance of breaking through to a semi-sage by %. Although there is only a % chance, for those strong people who are stuck at the peak of the 9th-rank Dozun, even if they use all their wealth they are all willing to exchange. When everyone heard the words, they were all surprised, and then caused a sensation. This is a rare material, it is too rare. The Bodhi pill is an 8th-grade elixir, and even the big families may not be able to afford it. After all, the Bodhi pill is not something that everyone can get. Therefore, even if many people from the 8 big families can refine the Bodhi pill, it is still worth it. There is no price. This elixir can help Dozun increase his chances of becoming a Dou Xing by %, coupled with his own strength. The success rate is still relatively high. The two of Dozun and the strong man had already widened their eyes. They didn't expect to meet Bodhi Dan here. You must know that all strong men who are about to break through the semi-saint will face a test. If they succeed in being promoted to the semi-saint, if they fail, they will stay in the realm of rank 9 Dozun for the rest of their lives, or die suddenly on the spot, and although this Bodhi pill can only increase the chances by a mere %, it is also something that almost all the in-laws of rank 9 Dozun will get. This is such a treasure, you must not let it go. Before Yafei could say the starting price, the guests below her were already impatient. They naturally knew in their hearts that this Bodhi pill of the 8-color sky thunder could not be obtained so easily. It is not impossible to even say that the auction price is sky-high. Everyone must know the value of this elixir, so I announced that the starting price of the 8-rank Bodhi pill of 8-color sky thunder is 1,000 million gold coins. The fluctuation range is not less than million gold coins. Hearing the price, the lobby on the first floor and the factions on the second floor all chose to give up. They didn't have the strength to come up with million gold coins. Moreover, even if you really got it, it is impossible to keep it. Naturally, it was impossible for that group of powerful people to give them the chance to auction. As the saying goes, smart people often don't live long, so they no longer go to the auction, but to witness who is the ultimate winner. The old ghost who picked up the stars took the lead. They have many 9-rank Dozun powerhouses in their soul hall, and some of them will not be able to advance to the semi-sage realm in their entire lives. Now that they have this Bodhi pill, they naturally have a % chance of being promoted to the semi-sage. End of this chapter. Chapter 72 Auction of the Sky-High Priced Bodhi Pill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 5,000 million gold coins. Plus 3 local primary skills. Hearing the price increase of the old ghost who picked up the stars, everyone could only shake their heads in disappointment that in the face of absolute power, their money is nothing more than a drop in the bucket. Whether it is gold coins or fighting skills, they are not something they can come up with. This is no longer a competition of strength, but the background of the forces behind the struggle. Someone directly showed a few pieces of rare materials, the brilliance was shining, and the dazzling people couldn't open their eyes. It can be seen that this 8-rank Bodhi pill of 8-color sky thunder has completely amazed everyone, and it is much more precious than the 8-rank Poria green pill. The two should not exist at the same level. Even the 8 great families don't have the ability to take out the Bodhi seed, let alone the Bodhi pill of the 8-color sky thunder. Not only that, in order to get this Bodhi pill, everyone took out all their savings, and they wanted to get this elixir no matter what. More than a dozen rare materials, including 7th-grade transforming pills, amethyst stones, etc., are all very rare, and their value is astonishing. It can also be seen that they attach great importance to this Bodhi pill. All of a sudden, there was a lot of bidding in Banzhengli. As long as they can get it, it will be of great help to their future. If they really can't break through the Bansheng, then it is not impossible to sell it to the 8 major families at a high price. Tang Zhen, the owner of Fengyun Valley, stood up and said loudly, 200 million gold coins, plus 3 low-level fighting skills at the local level, and 2 intermediate-level exercises at the local level. Tang Zhen. The old ghost Jiaxing gritted his teeth angrily, wishing he could kill this old bastard right now. Unexpectedly, he would bid such a high price for this Bodhi pill. Tang Zhen, the owner of Fenyan Valley, sneered, the one with the highest price gets it. Could it be that the old ghost who picked up the stars still wants to snatch it, that the old ghost's eyes were red, and he also thought about snatching it, but the previous Frost Venerable had frozen his blood, so naturally he couldn't give up his life just because of an elixir. Yao Chen stared at the Bodhi pill of the 8-color sky thunder on the crystal table, a complicated expression flashed in his eyes. I didn't expect that Tiange Pavilion could even take out this kind of thing. I really doubt what their identities are, Xiao Yan said. Teacher, is Bodhi pill really so attractive? Nature. Yao Lao's eyes were full of blazing heat. If he had owned the Bodhi pill of the 8-color sky thunder back then, he could also be promoted to a semi-saint powerhouse. At that time, his strength had already reached the realm of rank 9 Dou Zun, and he was only one step away from breaking through the semi-sage. However, it is not easy to break through the semi-holy, it requires not only courage, but also enough opportunities. This is why the watershed between Dou Zun and Dou Sheng will kill tens of thousands of talented and stunning people. There is only one half-saint among thousands of Dou Zuns, and only one Dou saint among hundreds of Dou Zuns. This is the law of the mainland. After reaching a certain level, hard work is no longer the most important thing, talent often determines the route of life. Once the Bodhi pill comes to the world, it will definitely cause a bloody storm, and the next battle will be more intense, and even lead to a great war. Yao Chen's face was serious. This Bodhi pill was not destined for him. Even if he had the ability to auction it, he would have no chance to protect it. In the face of absolute strength, everything would be futile. The auction continued, and the price went up, almost making everyone give up on this auction. Just ask them, which one can come up with, million gold coins. The old ghost who picked up the stars had a grim face. Obviously, he was exhausted even if he could take out, million gold coins. This was his limit, and it was also the last wave of price increases. I regret that I didn't ask for more gold coins from the palace master back then, and now I can only hope that Tang Zhen, the master of the Fenyan Valley, can't come up with so many gold coins. Li Xiao couldn't hide the excitement in his heart. This Bodhi pill cost him 100 million gold coins to buy from the system, and now it has been multiplied hundreds of times, so he laughed happily. This time, he was finally able to complete the task assigned by the system. Lianxue lay under the pavilion master's body, constantly ups and downs, which made Bing Shuang and the others quite envious. Ling Long said softly, Pavilion master, the price of this Bodhi pill is estimated to be the limit. Li Xiao naturally knew it, but it would be great if he could add some more price. In auction, Ye Fei was asking the strong men in the surrounding boxes. 300 million gold coins, plus 3 local low-level fighting skills, is there a higher bid? Everyone in the Black Corner region also shook their heads. There was no need for them to offend the strong men from the Zhongzhou continent because of Han Feng, the Emperor of Medicine. Besides, the price has exceeded everyone's expectations. It is better to just give up and avoid losses. Yun Yun, the master of Yunlan sect, said softly, the price of this Bodhi pill has risen, and now only those big forces have the opportunity to get it. I don't know if there is any high-level exercise suitable for my cultivation. Elder Yunling said, Sovereign, we must win a few of the next lot, otherwise the gold coins accumulated in a year will be useless. Of course I know about this matter. Yun Yun nodded, and replied, however, it is as difficult as going to heaven to snatch it from these people. Great Elder Yunling breathed out a deep breath of heat. He naturally knew that the Tiange Pavilion built in the eastern part of the Warcraft Mountains would attract even the powerhouses from the Zhongzhou continent. I am afraid that few people would believe it. Bar. Old ghost reaching the stars, count yourself as ruthless. Tang Zhen, the owner of the Fenyan Valley, has his fists and veins bulging. Although he also has the opportunity to auction it, once he gets this Bodhi pill, he will become the target of public criticism, and everyone will definitely try their best to snatch it. It will even bring an indelible disaster to Fenyan Valley. before leaving, the great elder told him that no matter what happened, don't offend those forces, otherwise the consequences would be disastrous. He might even be exterminated by others because of this trivial matter. In desperation, Tang Zhen could only give up this Bodhi pill. He is not sure that he can keep this elixir, and he can't lose his wife and lose his army because of his own selfish interests. In the end, the old ghost who picked up the stars successfully bought the Bodhi pill with million gold coins and 3 local low-level fighting skills. The old ghost picking stars exhaled heavily, and didn't even intend to auction off the leftovers, and hurriedly left Tiange Pavilion with Siyu Hufa and others. This matter is of great importance, and we must return to the Hall of Souls as soon as possible, and hand over the 8-rank Bodhi pill of the 8-color Sky Thunder to the Hall Master. The reserve prices of the things that will appear next will also be reduced a lot, and not all good things will be saved until the end. After the climax, it is natural to fall into a period of dullness, followed by a copper-colored villain, who is not sure what kind of metal it is, dull and dull. End of this chapter. Chapter 73. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What is this? Haven't you seen it? It's strange. Could it be some kind of magic weapon? That everyone was dumbfounded, and they didn't know what it was, but the things auctioned by Tiange Pavilion were all treasures, so it was impossible to fool them with ordinary things. Yafei nodded her head in greeting. This thing is called a puppet. Maybe everyone has heard of the name of a puppet, but this puppet is different from others. It is a long-lost transhumane puppet. The puppet technique is not a skill, but more like a fighting skill, but it is not a general fighting technique, but a rare puppet technique left over from ancient times. To refine a sky demon puppet, you need 3 things together: the body, the soul, and the demon core. The body is used as a tool, the soul is used as a guide, and the demon core is used as a heart. Together with many materials that increase the strength of the body, the demon puppet is finally achieved. Goblins are divided into 3 classes: human level, earth level, heavenly level. The way to distinguish the 3rd class is to observe its skin color. The heavenly class is gold, the earthly class is silver, and the human class is copper, and the puppet on the crystal platform is obviously copper-colored, so it is called a shemale puppet. The difference in level depends on the refining materials and the refining fire, which is infinitely powerful and without joy or sorrow, without pain or injury. The strength of the demon puppet is incomparably terrifying, according to the soul of the other party to obtain the same realm. Now this little copper-colored puppet is the long-lost human demon puppet. Hearing this, everyone shook their heads except for some experts above the Douhuang level. Obviously, they had never heard of the name human monster puppet. The puppet needs to go back thousands of years, and all the ancient books that have been recorded have been blocked by major forces. Except for some powerful people, there are only a handful of people who know the sky demon puppet. Because it is a human demon puppet, the price is not too high, and it is only a few million. Among them, the corpse of Dou Zong was used to refine this human monster puppet, so its strength is also in the realm of Dou Zong. Yao Chen is quite interested in the human monster puppet. If he can get it, then his disciple will be able to have a strong person as a bodyguard. Tang Zhen, the owner of Fenyan Valley, shook his head. The level is too low. If it is a sky demon puppet, it will definitely be a great help, but it is just a human monster puppet. Alas, what a pity, what a pity. As a venerable, he naturally looked down on the puppet of Dou Zong's strength, so he simply stopped bidding and left it to others. Xiao Yan held up the sign and pretended to be embarrassed, as if he didn't like this puppet either. 5 million gold coins. Medicine Emperor Han Feng turned his head to look at where Xiao Yan was, as if he had guessed what he was thinking, so he said with a smile, "I'm sorry, little brother, I like this human monster puppet very much, 800 million gold coins." Xiao Yan's face twitched, and he didn't expect that Han Feng also knew the origin of the human monster puppet. Yao Chen was also a little silent, and with Han Feng as a hindrance, it was impossible for Xiao Yan to photograph the shemale puppet. "Teacher, what should I do?" Xiao Yan asked anxiously. Yao Chen sighed. "There is no other way. Han Feng's funds are higher than ours, although we have saved a lot of gold coins in this year, but in the joint hands of the Black Corner domain, we have no chance yet." Hearing this, although Xiao Yan felt unwilling, he could only be forced to give up. Who told the other party's financial resources to be higher than his own? He only regrets that he does not have absolute strength, otherwise it would be impossible for this brother who betrayed the teacher to get what he wanted. Yun Dao also became very interested in this shemale puppet, 500 million gold coins. Han Feng, the medicine emperor who thought he was planning a strategy, thumped in his heart, and turned around sharply to look at the people in the other box. I didn't expect that someone would dare to raise the price. Because of hiding his identity, Medicine Emperor Han Feng couldn't see the other person's appearance, but the person who could sit on the third floor must not be weaker than himself. Your Excellency, I am Han Feng, the Medicine King of the Black Horn region. Please don't hold any more auctions. I, Han Feng, will be personally grateful. How? Han Fenggui is a 6th grade pharmacist with a very high status. Even the Dou Zong Powerhouse has to give him a little favor, so he doesn't think the other party will reject him. However, Yun did not give up on being a human demon puppet because of Han Feng's identity. Medicine Emperor Han Feng clenched his fists, gritted his teeth and said, check it out for me, who is the person in this box, who dares to offend a 6th grade pharmacist? How brave. Fan Lao, the patriarch of the blood sect, nodded, okay, I'll investigate right away. 3,000 million gold coins. Han Feng slapped the table with a slap. She must be obtained by Dozong-level puppets. Whoever dares to stop himself, kill. Elder Yunling and the others turned pale with fright. They didn't expect the suzerain to offend the strong men in the Black Horn region for the sake of a small puppet. Isn't this looking for death? The strength of the Black Horn region can be regarded as the pinnacle in the northwest continent, and there are many Dozong experts among them. What's more, the other party is a 6th grade pharmacist, who is enough to invite a strong person from the fighting sect. Hearing Yun Yun's explanation, the elders of the Misty Cloud sect widened their eyes and almost took off their clothes for auction. Shemale puppet, I once heard from the teacher that every person who refines a puppet needs the corpse of a Dozong expert, and also needs the soul of a Dozong expert. Therefore, I can conclude that this shemale puppet's the strength is in the realm of Dozong. Elder Yunling's breath became short of breath, so, this little bronze man is actually a strong Dozong, that there is no Dozong in the Misty Cloud sect yet, and the old suzerain is still in seclusion, and his life and death are uncertain. If there is a Dozong strongman as a strong protector, even if all the assets are exhausted, he must win it. Yunlei and Yunxing also smiled one after another, turning their faces faster than turning a book. They all agreed that the suzerain spent a lot of gold coins to buy it. At the same time, the gold and silver elders were also attracted, looked at the medicine emperor Han Feng and asked, Yao Huang, what is this human monster puppet? Why do you really want it? Naturally, it was impossible for the Emperor of Medicine to tell them otherwise. With the choice of two people, they would definitely rob him at all costs, and even offend him, a 6th grade pharmacist. In this small northwestern continent, there is a Dozong powerhouse whose power is the pinnacle sect, just like Canaan College. Although their dean has been away from Canaan College for several years, because of the Dozong powerhouse, those guys didn't dare to have any idea to attack them. It's just an ordinary puppet. I like it better. I just want to take it back for research. The gold and silver elders looked at each other. Apparently they were unwilling to believe Han Feng's nonsense. This thing must be of high value, and the things that could make Han Feng fancy must not be ordinary items. Besides, which of the items auctioned by Tiange Pavilion is not a rare thing in the world? This puppet must be unusual. End of this chapter. Chapter 74. Break the Rules, Die. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The gold and silver elders thought in their hearts whether they should compete with Han Feng for the so-called transgressive puppets. That if the shemale puppet is very effective, it is not impossible to offend a 6th grade alchemist. Besides, the gold and silver elders never paid much attention to Han Feng. There are many 6th grade pharmacists in the world, so it doesn't mean that Han Feng must be found to refine a 6th grade elixir, but if the human monster is not of much use, then it is not a clear move to offend a 6th grade alchemist. Thinking of this, the two fell into a tangle. However, at the moment when the two were tangled, Han Feng had already raised the price to 4,000 million gold coins, and he was bound to win this puppet. Ye Fei smiled lightly. 4,000 million gold coins, is there any higher price? The people around whispered that this broken bronze man was able to fetch a sky-high price of 4,000 million. I really wonder if these rich people have lost their minds and fought for a bronze man. Naturally, it was impossible for Yun to just give up like this. Under her beautiful face, there was a gleam of determination. With the puppet of a strong Dou Zong, the Yunmi Zong would not be afraid of the threat of those forces. Besides, if the teacher really falls, the puppet will replace the teacher and help him protect the Yunlan sect. Great Elder Yunling shouted loudly, 6,000 million gold coins. Yun's expression paused, and she turned around abruptly to look at the already excited Elder Yunling. She wished to punch him out. Her idea was to increase the price by 300 million, and so on, so that the other party would give up dealing with the transvestite directly. Puppet auction, but who would have thought that this old thing would directly increase the price to 6,000 million, which would tell the other party that the value of this copper man is worthless. Great Elder Yunling was still complacent, but he didn't know that the remaining powerhouses had noticed the value of the human monster puppets, and they all followed up to increase the price. Yun stared at Yunling with a face full of resentment. No wonder this guy has never broken through the Douhuang for so many years. There is a reason for his IQ. Grand Elder Yunling didn't know the seriousness of the matter, but instead smiled. Sect Master, our Yunlan sect is bound to win this human monster puppet. 63 million gold coins. 65 million gold coins. 7,000 million gold coins. Hearing that someone had started to increase the price, the expression of Great Elder Yunling also changed from joy to surprise. Didn't expect someone to increase the price. Yun caressed her forehead and sighed, feeling a little helpless. Sovereign, Yun said lightly, forget it, the gold coins I brought this time are only 8,000 million. If the price increases, the sect's assets will be lost in my hands. Let's go. Elder Yunling stared unwillingly at the transgressive puppet on the crystal stage, and said loudly, no, Lord Suzerain, this thing is too important to our sect. If it really doesn't work, I'll go to Pavilion Master Li Xiao and ask him to sell it. Give us. Shut up. Yun yelled, what are you? You still want to see Pavilion Master Li Xiao? It's considered the utmost kindness for him to let you in for auction, but he still wants to buy it privately. My Yunlan sect doesn't have such a big face. Yun stood up, looked at the shemale puppet reluctantly. Just when she was about to leave, she heard Yafei speak. Everyone, the human demon puppet is not the last item to be auctioned. The next item is of extraordinary value. Therefore, you must guard your gold coins to auction off the last treasure. This sentence made everyone fantasize about it. If the price of the last treasure is quite high, it is not a clear move to spend tens of millions of gold coins here to buy a shemale puppet. Medicine Emperor Han Feng also frowned, shifted his gaze to the fourth floor, and thought to himself, could it be that the next item will be a strange fire, that if it is really a different fire, then the ability brought by the human monster is negligible. Now that I have mastered the full version of Fenju, now I only need to find the different fire and devour it to evolve Fenju and promote Douzong realm. If he is promoted to the Douzong powerhouse, the human monster puppet will not have much effect on him. It is better to take this opportunity and let other people snatch it, so as to reduce the background of the other party. Killing two birds with one stone, why not do it? Thinking of this, Han Feng immediately gave up the auction of the monster puppet, poured tea on his own, and said with a smile, since Miss Yafei has already said so, then, I will definitely go all out to auction the last treasure. And the face of the Dou Huang who bid 7,000 million turned black. He thought of this opportunity to join in the fun and muddy the water, but he didn't expect that there would be no price increase after just one sentence, and I still can't get 7,000 million gold coins. Isn't this a scam? The Dou Huang tremblingly said, that Miss Yafei. I don't have enough money. Can I pay on credit? Niu Meng strode over, grabbed the Dou Huang by the neck, pressed hard against the wall at the door, pointed at the rules above and said angrily. Tiange Pavilion has clear regulations, and those who increase the price indiscriminately and fail to produce the corresponding gold coins will face the punishment of Tiange Pavilion. The Dou Huang was already so frightened that his legs became weak, and he knelt on the ground and cowed out his head frantically. I'm sorry, I was really wrong. I wanted to join in the fun, so I really didn't increase the price randomly. In panic, he spoke anxiously, I have a newborn son on the top, and an 80-year-old mother on the bottom. I can't die, no matter how much Niu Menghua has, he has countless lives in his hands as a Douhuang powerhouse. Now that he has violated the rules of Tiange Pavilion, he must accept the punishment of Tiange Pavilion. In an instant, Niu Meng's right hand suddenly exerted force, and the Douhuang's head burst open, and the tofu brain mixed with blood splashed all over the ground, and even jumped onto a person's face. At this moment, the hall was eerily quiet, only the sound of a madly beating heart. Li Xiao looked at it, and said via voice transmission, Niu Meng, how many times have I told you that the murderer is taken outside, and the ground is covered with blood? You can clean it up yourself later. Niu Meng smiled honestly, dragged the body of the Douhuang, and threw it directly in front of the amethyst-winged Lion King. I reward you, the body of the Douhuang is also a great tonic. The amethyst-winged Lion King rushed up impatiently, swallowed Douhuang's body in one gulp, and even licked clean the blood on the ground. Devouring high-level human beings is nothing but treasures for their monsters, and they even vaguely touched the barrier of Dou Zong. Niu Meng chuckled, returned to the main hall, picked up the mop at the side, and started to clean up the blood on the ground as if nothing had happened. The group of people with ulterior motives were also trembling. Especially the strong one who raised the price indiscriminately just now, who was almost incontinent. I am glad that the final auction was not them. End of this chapter. Chapter 75. Yun successfully photographed the shemale puppet. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ye Fei pursed her lips, and subconsciously turned her head to look at the room where the pavilion master was, because it was also the first time for her to see brother Niu Meng kill. Her expression changed obviously. Li Xiao reassured her that she was fine. Tiange Pavilion has its own rules, and anyone who disrupts the rules will face sanctions. Those who disturb the price are the most hated, so they should be killed directly, to make an example to others. In this way, there will be no more strong players who increase prices indiscriminately, and more people will not be troubled by too high prices. Ye Fei nodded slightly, turned around and said, I'm sorry everyone. There was a little episode just now, I hope everyone will forgive me. Next, our auction will continue. The people who just bid 7,000 million have been disposed of, and the calculation will start from the above 400 million. Yun realized that her chance had come. She simply saw the timing, and immediately said, 65 million gold coins. This time, no one continued to increase the price, and they all chose to give up, preparing for the arrival of the last treasure. 65 million gold coins once. 65 million gold coins twice. Is there any further price increase? Ye Fei smiled softly. Is there any higher level, for example, 7,000 million? Ye Fei looked around at the boxes. If there were no more boxes, she would be given the hammer. Then, 500 million gold coins 3 times, deal. Let's congratulate the strong man in box number 500 for successfully photographing the shemale puppet with, million gold coins. Yun breathed a sigh of relief, and slumped on the chair, sweat dripping down her delicate cheeks. Elder Yunling and the others were also dancing excitedly. If there were not too many people here, they would definitely take off their clothes and dance happily. With the addition of Dou Zong experts, Yunmi Zone will be promoted to Zhongzhou continent. Next is the intermission. The last lot will be auctioned in half an hour. Don't blame everyone. Under Ye Fei's enchanting figure, she turned around and left the crystal platform, leaving only the group of free-moving strong men. Go back to the room on the 4th floor. Niu Meng at the door blocked Ye Fei's way. He had already cleaned up the remaining blood in the hall. In addition, the master of the pavilion is communicating some important things with Ling Long and the others. If anyone does not see him, he needs to guard here. Queen Medusa leaned on the wall with her hands crossed over her chest. Since she transformed into a human form, her own cultivation speed has been greatly improved, and her cultivation in the Tiange Pavilion has achieved twice the result with half the effort. In just half a year, Qinglian has broken through the 6-star Dozong realm. It can be described as rapid progress. When will Pavilion Master Li Xiao come out? This king needs to find him for something. My lord has ordered that no one is allowed to step into the room. Yefei, Qinglian, you should wait a little longer. Niu Meng cast a glance at the room behind him, and immediately reminded in a low voice, you two just wait here, the Lord Pavilion Master hates disturbing his old man at critical moments. Hearing this, the two looked at each other, but they didn't hear anything in Niu Meng's words. They thought Pavilion Master Li Xiao had other matters to deal with. Yefei was even more helpless and said, what is the master doing in there, are you discussing the next lot? Niu Meng coughed dryly, but did not continue to answer. Time flies, and half an hour quickly passed. Li Xiao, who was lying on his side on the fourth floor, was enjoying the massage and washing of several people, with a relaxed look on his face. It wasn't until the end that Li Xiao stood up slowly, and took out a red ghost mask from his arms. The mask was lifelike and terrifying. Then he put the mask on his face. This mask can not only cover up his aura, but also prevent others from probing. Even Emperor Dou came, and he couldn't see any cultivation. After Niu Meng heard the movement, he opened the door and let the two of them in, but as soon as he entered the room, a strange smell hit his face. This smell was very familiar, but it was so strange that he couldn't remember what it was. Yefei sniffled and said, Master, there is a strange smell in the room, did you smell it? Li Xiao moved his face, coughed dryly and said, probably not, Lianxue. Lianxue understood. She moved her fingers slightly to dissipate all the smells in the room, and fresh air came in again. Queen Medusa said, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, this king has been promoted to the realm of Dou Zone, and it's time to return to the snake human tribe. Don't worry, I promised you that within 3 years, the snake people will be moved to the Warcraft Mountains. Li Xiao knew in his heart that Queen Medusa was already very urgent, but everything has to go through a process. In the current Warcraft Mountains, the snake-human tribe has not yet been built. Even if they migrate here, it will only increase their troubles. She also doesn't want the strong snake people to sleep on the streets. Queen Medusa frowned. Okay then, I will wait for you for a while until the snake-human tribe in the Warcraft Mountains is completed, and I will lead the tribe to settle in. Qinglian, you have to remember that everything about you is given by the Pavilion Master. Without the Pavilion Master, you are still deep in the Tagore Desert. Xuan said in a slightly cold voice, the same goes for the snake people. They should know in their hearts that there would be no snake people without Tiange Pavilion. My lord has given you a new home for the snake people, and let you break through the realm of Dou Zone. You should know how to repay your kindness. Queen Medusa looked at Xuan with a restrained smile, but she didn't have any objection in her heart. Xuan's words were indeed good. Without ascending to Tiange, she would have no hope of breaking through the Dou Zone. There is even no chance of relying on the devouring fire. Medusa nodded, put away her haughty expression, and bowed to Li Xiao. Thank you, Pavilion Master. Li Xiao said softly, and I've already said that you will be a member of the Tiange Pavilion in the future, and I, Li Xiao, will do everything for my own people, as long as the snake-human race is wrapped around me. Thank you. Medusa thanked. Okay, the time is almost up, and it's time for me to go to the auction. Li Xiao tidied up her clothes. Yefei asked at this moment, Pavilion Master, don't I need to conduct an auction next? The last treasure is the strange fire. Your strength is too weak to withstand the erosion of the strange fire. I should come in person. As soon as the words fell, Li Xiao had disappeared in place. The lights in the lobby on the first floor suddenly dimmed, and under the puzzled eyes of everyone, a ray of white light refracted on the crystal table, and Li Xiao, who was wearing a mask, stood out in front of everyone. It turned out to be Pavilion Master Li Xiao, and he came out for the auction himself. The remnants of the Qinglian demon fire did not appear last time, but this time it appeared in front of us again. It seems that the last lot is worth a lot. So excited. End of this chapter. Chapter 76 Bone Spirit Cold Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The doubts around were ups and downs, and they were all guessing what the next auction item would be. Li Xiao waved the robe behind him, cupped his hands towards the crowd and said, Everyone, be safe and don't be impatient. I am the owner of the Tiange Pavilion, Li Xiao. I am very happy to auction for you. My lord, what is the last good thing? We can't wait. Yes, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, hurry up, all the flowers I've been waiting for are gone. Hearing this, Li Xiao just smiled faintly, and immediately opened the barrier inside the Dengtian Pavilion, making a crackling sound. A special barrier quietly wrapped the auction platform, and even the sky above the crystal platform was filled with a terrifying cyclone. You don't need to panic, because of the danger of this thing. We Dengtian Pavilion specially made this special cyclone that can suppress this thing. But everyone still has to be careful. Try not to get close to the auction platform. This kind of thing is enough to destroy the world. After hearing this sentence, everyone's expressions also changed accordingly, because the last time the pavilion master of Dengtian Pavilion said such words, he took out Qinglian Dixinhuo, number 19 on the different fire list. I don't know if it will be a more advanced strange fire this time. At this moment, an inexplicable sense of oppression enveloped the entire Dengtian Pavilion in an instant, and terrifying heat also burst out. A look of horror appeared on everyone's faces. Suddenly, a white flame suddenly appeared in the hands of Pavilion Master Xiao. The color was dark white, and the fiery feeling was filled with an inexplicable heat, extremely hot and cold, very uncomfortable. This is Bone Spirit Linghua. Whether it was Yao Chen, Han Feng, or even Xiao Yan, they all showed shocking expressions, because this was Yao Lao's famous flame, number 11 Bone Spirit Linghua on the different fire list. The strange combination of extreme cold and extreme heat can only be encountered in extremely cold and extremely cloudy places when the sun and the moon alternate every 100 years. Han Feng's breathing also became short of breath. It has been a long time since he wanted to get Yao Lao's strange fire. He thought that the strange fire had fallen with that old thing, but who would have thought that he would meet him here? Xiao Yan clenched his fists, his gaze remained on Gu Ling Linghua and said, "Teacher, is this really your strange fire?" Yao Chen, who owns Bone Spirit Linghua, naturally knows his own strange fire very well, and can also see the quality and ranking of the cluster of flames in the hands of Pavilion Master Xiao. If it is not Bone Spirit Linghua, what else could it be? That's right. This is indeed number 11 on the alien fire list, Bone Spirit Linghua. I paid too much to get Bone Spirit Linghua back then, but I didn't expect to see you in the Dengtian Pavilion auction one day. Arrived. Pavilion Master Xiao is really reckless. Speaking of this, Yao Chen's expression has obviously changed. In order to obtain the cold fire of the Bone Spirit, he spent several years, and experienced the danger of being burned by different fires and obstacles in the terrain. Now that I saw it at the auction, I'm afraid it would be hard for anyone to accept it. In the current auction, everyone's eyes were fixed on Bone Spirit Linghua, especially Medicine Emperor Han Feng, who showed a greedy look. Can't go wrong. This is the strange fire of the old man. Han Feng was overjoyed. I'm so old, I didn't expect that after you fell, I could still see the Bone Spirit cold fire. This cold strange fire is more terrifying than your flame back then. With Fenju I will be promoted to a higher level. The surrounding Dou Huang also cast awe-inspiring gazes. Number 11 Bone Spirit Linghua in the different fire rankings, even the Dou Zone powerhouses attach great importance to it. Now seeing his honor, he will die without regret. Booze, Xiao shrugged. Since you have already seen it, you must also know the value of Bone Spirit Linghua. It can no longer be measured with gold coins. This sentence made everyone who was still harboring illusions look at each other in dismay. Didn't they say that they would use gold coins for auction? Xiao continued, everyone, be safe and don't be impatient. Although it can't be measured by money, it doesn't mean it can't be used. You can increase the price as you like, and I will arrange someone to help you identify the value of martial arts and fighting skills, so as to get more auctions. Chance. At this moment, several strong men flew from outside the Dengtian Pavilion. Beasts are galloping, and a golden chariot gallops forward, dazzling, like a dazzling sun across the street. 3 monsters are pulling this golden chariot, rushing to the Dengtian Pavilion auction house. Everyone who heard the movement turned their eyes to the golden warrior outside Dengtian Pavilion at the same time, with a hint of surprise in their eyes. The average person dare not use such a golden chariot, and there is no chariot of this level in the entire northwest continent. Obviously, this person's status are extremely detached. On both sides of the chariot, there is also a group of elite soldiers, all wearing black armor, solemn and mighty. with a kind of iron-blooded temperament that can only be honed on the battlefield. The door of the chariot was gently pushed open, and a man dressed in white stepped down gracefully. The man looked like he was only in his 20s, however, there is an inexplicable deterrent force around the body. Tang Zhen, the owner of the Fenyan Valley, stood up violently, shocked in his heart. Here comes another strong man from the family, this aura. The person who came was Huxian, one of the 8 clans, from the Yan clan. And he is also a rare 8-star Dou Zun powerhouse in the world. With a strong deterrent force, the entire Warcraft Mountains trembled violently, but only the place where the Dengtian Pavilion was located was calm, and there was no feeling of energy riots. This made Huxian feel a little bit surprised. He didn't expect this small auction to be able to resist his own attack. It's really interesting. Huxian's gaze shifted to the attic in front of him. He who had just used his mental strength to investigate, took 2 steps back in an instant, his eyes flickering with solemnity. I was shocked by my own spiritual power just now. How is this possible? The majestic 8-star Dou Zun, the person at the top of the pyramid, is now being backlashed by an auction, which makes others laugh out loud. Friends from afar, what's the matter? The sound suddenly exploded. Lianxue had already arrived in front of the main hall of Dengtian Pavilion in an instant. The weapon in her hand made a faint sound, as if she would rush up and break it in the next second. However, Lianxue didn't know what to do. After all, the other party was also an 8-star Dou Zun, and with the addition of different fires, the power that erupted was far beyond that of ordinary Dou Zun, but fortunately, this is Dengtian Pavilion's trump card. With such a background, they don't have any chance to do evil here. Besides, if there is a real fight, then Lianxue will not be timid, and the high-level sky-level fighting skills will also bring back a large gap in levels. End of this chapter. Chapter 77, Yan Clan Powerhouse, Huxian. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huxian, a strong member of the Yan clan, couldn't help but feel a little bit of surprise, looking at such a beautiful woman in front of him. He also showed a touch of shock. Unexpectedly, there are really fairies in this world. Huxian tidied up her clothes, and said politely, I'm from the Yan family. Huxian, I don't know the girl's name. Where is the family? Lianxue said indifferently. Lianxue, without a family, I am the Dharma protector of Dengtian Pavilion. Hearing this, Huxian laughed. It would be easy to say without a family. Lianxue, what a nice name. I wonder if the girl is married. Are you looking for death? The long sword in Lianxue's hand pointed at Huxian's neck angrily. The soldiers on both sides of the chariot ran over immediately when they saw it, but Huxian stopped him directly, and said coldly, What kind of status are you? How dare you wield knives and guns at Miss Lianxue, and you still won't put them away? Under Huxian's order, the soldiers put away their weapons. Huxian smiled and said, I don't have any other intentions, but I have never seen such a beautiful woman. I am being rude. I hope Miss Lianxue is not to blame. Lianxue was expressionless, and said indifferently, What is the reason you are here? If you are fine, leave quickly. This is not a place for you youngsters to run wild. Hearing this, Huxian couldn't help frowning. The successor of one of the dignified 8 clans was actually said to be the younger generation. Could it be that the power behind Dengtian Pavilion is also one of the 8 clans? But why has he never heard of it? Just when he was puzzled, Bing Shuang strode out. The pavilion master has an order to let him in. Heard the words. Lianxue retracted her weapon silently, turned sideways, and made way for him. Since the Lord Pavilion Master allowed him to enter, there was no need for her to stop her. Huxian smacked his lips. Dengtian Pavilion is full of talented people, and Dou Zun is a Dharma protector. I don't know who their Pavilion Master will be. Stride into Dengtian Pavilion, and you will see the lobby on the first floor. In the center is an auction table, all of which are made of high-quality crystal stones. Even the hammers used in the auction are made of pure gold. You can imagine how reliable the system is. Huxian squinted his eyes. As a Dou Zun strongman, he had never seen any battle before, but he was also curious, not understanding why there was such a tyrannical auction in the small Warcraft Mountains. The people around were also whispering, all looking at the origin of the man in white, but they were not qualified to know Huxian's identity. Xiao, whose dazzled eyes stayed on the crystal platform, just wanted to investigate his spiritual power. but was directly shocked by the background of Tiange Pavilion, and almost didn't vomit blood directly, but there is still a feeling of blood boiling. As if the next second will be unconscious. The corner of Huxian's mouth twitched, and he became even more suspicious of Li Xiao's identity. Who is this person, and why can he eat back his spiritual power? You are the master of the Tiange Pavilion, right? Huxian asked subconsciously. Yeah. Li Xiao nodded. A guest from afar. Are you here for the auction? It's natural. Huxian blinked, and stared at the bone spirit in the crystal table coldly. I heard that the treasures in the Tiange Pavilion auction are rare in the world. I happen to be nearby, so I just came here directly. I hope the owner of the pavilion will not blame me. No. Li Xiao smiled softly. The guests who come from afar are all guests, and the last auction has not yet started, so you don't count as disrupting the rules. Hearing this, Huxian just nodded, and then led by Niu Meng to the box on the third floor to prepare for the auction. The main reason why he came here was to auction some rare treasures. He thought that there would be no good things in the small auction, but after seeing the bone spirits on the stage, he knew that his guess was wrong. The opponent's background is so strong, all these natural materials and earthly treasures are put up for auction. What a waste. Li Xiao tidied up her clothes and said softly. Now I announce that the auction has officially started, and the bottom price is 0. You can do whatever you want. As soon as the voice on the stage fell, the bottom was boiling, and the bidding began immediately. Now, no one raised gold coins. Those were not enough to see, so they had to be exchanged with rare treasures. I would like to take out 3 local level fighting skills, plus 6 6th grade pills. I would like to exchange it with treasures of the same level. Million gold coins plus a local intermediate skill. The price has risen, and even the middle level exercises of the earth level have been taken out. It can be seen that in order to get the bone spirit lingua, they are willing to give everything of themselves. Even if they lose their fortunes, they have to win the heavenly fire. Huxian smiled. 300 million gold coins, plus 2 low-level local fighting skills. As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar. Everyone's eyes were on the New Yen clan strongmen, but they didn't expect this guy to be a dark horse. Immediately raised the price to million gold coins. Han Feng clenched his fists and said in a low voice, Damn guys, everyone, I have made it clear before I came here. If you can help me take down the strange fire. I, Han Feng, promise that all the pills within 1 year I will contribute unconditionally to you. Hearing this, the fighting emperors looked at each other in the arena. How could they disagree with such an attractive condition? Ban Lao laughed and said, With your words from the medicine emperor, we are relieved. Today, even if we old people go bankrupt, we will help the medicine emperor take down the strange fire. Yuan Yi, the master of the 8 sects, Fan Yao, the master of the blood sect, and others nodded their heads one after another. Since the emperor of medicine had said something like this, they naturally wouldn't refuse it. Don't worry, the emperor of medicine, my 8 doors will definitely go all out. Han Feng focused his head heavily. Million gold coins, plus 3 different levels of 6th grade prescriptions. This sentence provoked everyone to exclaim, and all the 6th grade medicine prescriptions were taken out. It seems that Han Feng, the medicine emperor, has made up his mind to take down the cold fire of the teacher back then. Huxian of the Yen clan showed disdain, put his chin up with one hand, and said with a smile, as expected of a 6th grade pharmacist in the Black Horn region, he can spend so much money at one time, but in front of my Yen clan, all of this is just nothing. It's all futile. Han Feng's face was serious, and he murmured, the Yen clan, could it be one of the 8 great clans, the Yen clan? That's right, I'm one of the 8 great families, the Yen clan Powerhouse. Huxian. With dazzling eyes were cold and piercing. Han Feng, right? I've heard of you. You were the disciple of Venerable Yao back then, but there seems to be a slight change between you. Han Feng's body trembled, his face changed drastically, and even his lips trembled a little. He didn't expect this guy to know what happened back then. Damn it. I am bound to get the bone spirit Linghua, no matter what the price is, I will get it. End of this chapter. Chapter 78. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The tone is not small. For so many years, I have never seen any scene of Xuan. A mere first-rank 6th-grade pharmacist is not bad in this small black corner area, but compared with the entire Zhongzhou mainland, you count what? Xuan's breath was released, and a strong sense of oppression instantly enveloped the entire interior of Tiange Pavilion. Not only that, Han Feng only felt his bones crackling, as if they would shatter in the next second. Medicine Emperor Han Feng shouted loudly, "Lord Li Xiaoge, save me!" At this moment, Han Feng can only ask Li Xiao for help to frighten Xuan, because the only ones who can destroy him on the field are the strong men of Tiange Pavilion. Ascending heavenly pavilion shook. The powerful shock wave instantly shattered Xuan's grudge. Not only that, but a suffocating sense of oppression also severely damaged Xuan's mental strength. Li Xiao turned his head to look at Xuan on the 3rd floor, and said calmly, "Could it be that your excellency didn't read the rules of Tiange Pavilion? Anyone who is auctioned here is not allowed to fight. Are you deceiving me that there is no one in Tiange Pavilion? People from the 8 great families are naturally rebellious. Although Xuan has a good personality, he naturally looks down on inferior people. The strong have their own ideas. Xuan would not be so ignorant of people of the same level, but Han Feng, the little medicine emperor, dared to snatch his own strange fire. He really didn't know what to do. Without Xuan's oppression, Yao Huang Han Feng was able to raise his head, and his whole body was much better. However, the severe pain caused by the body is also very obvious, and we can only use pills to maintain the status quo. The coercion of Dou Zun is really terrifying. Xuan frowned, and became even more curious about the origin of Tiange Pavilion. He actually broke his vindictiveness with a single sentence, which was really extremely tyrannical. In fact, what he didn't know was that the previous energy was emitted by Tiange Pavilion, not Li Xiao's real strength. He is just a Dou Ling. If he hadn't had Tiange Pavilion, he would have died by now. Xuan cupped his hands, and said softly, "I'm sorry, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, I was rude just now." Li Xiao said, "In that case, then proceed to the auction obediently, otherwise, I will expel you from Tiange Pavilion." The auction continues. Xuan clenched his fists and said, 10 7th-grade pills, 3 local-level intermediate fighting skills, plus, million gold coins. Xiao Yan was dumbfounded and said, "My God, 10 7th-grade pills and 3 local-level intermediate fighting skills are worth far more than everyone else." Yao Chen nodded, "That's true. Whether it's pills or fighting skills, they are all treasures. If it's a high-quality pill, the price will increase by leaps and bounds. It's impossible for Han Feng to get the cold fire of the bone spirit this time." Hearing this, Xiao Yan burst into applause. "A traitor who kills his teacher is not worthy of having a teacher's bones and spirits. If it wasn't for the clear regulations of Tiange Pavilion, otherwise, the coercion just now would have shattered Han Feng's bones." The veins on the forehead of Medicine Emperor Han Feng popped up, and he said with a grim expression, "Damn you, you didn't come sooner or later, and you were here when the strange fire was being auctioned. You are sincerely trying to make trouble with me. What, do you have an opinion?" Hu dazzled his eyes coldly. "Han Feng, don't think that you can speak wild words in front of this deity because the lord of the Tiange Pavilion is protecting you. Believe it or not, as long as you leave the range of the Tiange Pavilion, this deity can touch you with one finger. You crush to death." Han Feng wanted to continue to say something, but was stopped by a few people around him. If he continued, he might really anger this Dou Zun. The people from Zhongzhou mainland are simply not something they can afford. Fan Lao, the patriarch of the blood sect, left the Tiange Pavilion immediately in fright, for fear of offending the Dou Zun strongman because of this incident. "So that I can't die." Han Feng's breathing also became short of breath, and he shouted in his heart, "Damn guy, why does everyone disobey me? My talent is amazing, which is rare in the world. Both the level of alchemy and the speed of cultivation are perfect. But Hu Qingxiang met them on the way to practice. First of all, that old man, if he had handed over Fenju to me earlier, I would have respected him more. It's all because of that old man's bad eyesight. He still doesn't understand my talent. Medicine Emperor Han Feng gritted his teeth, hating himself for being incompetent, hating that everyone in this world would disobey him, be it the teacher or the Yan clan, they should all be damned. Yao Huang, what's the matter with you? Don't get excited. Ban Lao could see that Han Feng's face was ugly, and quickly stopped his next move. If this goes on like this, I am afraid that the forces in the Black Horn region will all be wiped out. Li Xiao turned his head and glanced at the Medicine Emperor Han Feng with bulging veins, and reminded softly, Han Feng, remember the rules, otherwise, I can't save you. These words swirled in Han Feng's mind like a stormy sea. Han Feng stood up abruptly, his throat was sweet, and a mouthful of blood spurted out directly. Staring unwillingly at the bone spirit on the crystal stage, he immediately fell heavily on the ground and fell into a coma. Huxian, a strong member of the Yan clan, smiled, short-sighted guy, he still wants to get the cold fire of the bone spirit, and he doesn't take a pee to take care of himself, what? Such a narrow-minded person, no wonder he would kill his teacher. The venerable Yao died in the hands of you, it is an insult to his name. Huxian snorted coldly, and immediately shifted his gaze to Pavilion Master Li Xiao. Pavilion Master Li Xiao, you can announce it. 10 7th grade pills, 3 local level intermediate fighting skills, plus, million gold coins once. 10 7th grade pills, 3 local level intermediate fighting skills, plus, million gold coins twice. Is there any further price increase? Li Xiao looked around the boxes, and looked at Xiao Yan's expression from time to time. If he didn't, he would be given the hammer. Then, 10 7th grade pills, 3 local middle level fighting skills, plus, million gold coins 3 times, a deal. Let's congratulate the strong man in box number 11. With 10 7th grade pills, 3 local level intermediate fighting skills, and, million gold coins, he successfully took down bone spirit Lenghua on the abnormal fire list. Li Xiao shrugged and said, the auction is over, and I hope you all leave the Tiange Pavilion after paying the money. Also, no fighting is allowed within, miles of the Tiange Pavilion, and those who violate the order will be killed without mercy. Everyone could only leave angrily, but they were a little amazed at this auction. It was really exciting, whether it was the human monster puppet, the 8th-rank Bodhi pill of the 8-color sky thunder, or the bone spirit Lenghua, they were all rare treasures in the world. The next time you say anything, you have to come earlier, so as to auction more treasures. Huxian came to Li Xiao's side, smiled and said, Pavilion Master Li Xiao, I'm curious about the specific origin of Tiange Pavilion, can you explain a little bit? Li Xiao responded softly, I'm sorry brother Xuan, Tiange Pavilion has its own rules, even if I am the owner of the pavilion. I don't have the ability to say it. End of this chapter. Chapter 79 Opening the Holy Gift Package. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hearing this, Huxian, a strong member of the Yan clan, also nodded and smiled. Since Pavilion Master Li Xiao said so, how could he continue to ask questions? Holding his bone spirit Lenghua, he turned and left Tiange Pavilion. After a while, almost all the people inside Tiange Pavilion left. Li Xiao returned to her room, and couldn't wait to take a look at the treasures rewarded by the system. Gold coin recovery. The number of gold coins recovered this time is 1 billion gold coins, which can be exchanged for 100,000 system coins. A mechanical sound followed. The host page also popped up at this moment. Name, Li Xiao, race, Terran, cultivation level, 9-star fighting spirit peak, fighting skills, no, bloodline, Didi bloodline, subordinates, Ling Long, Niu Meng, Bing Shuang, Lianxue, total assets, 170,000 system coins, main task, earn 1 billion gold coins within 3 years, complete rewards, holy gift packs. Current progress, October 17th, congratulations to the host for completing the system task, earning 1 billion gold coins within 3 years, completing the reward, and getting a sacred gift package. Congratulations to the host for getting the sky-high price of Bone Spirit Cold Fire, rewarding a rank 9 Dou Zun strength card, which lasts for 1 day. Congratulations to the host for overfulfilling the system rewards. The system recycling store is open. The host can recycle the acquired exercises, fighting skills, and elixirs, and return gold coins according to different levels. Li Xiao laughed happily. She didn't expect that the common reward would be the rank, Dou Zun strength card. Although it's only for one day, the power erupted by the Dou Zun is enough to destroy the world. Next, let's take a look at what will be in the holy spree. Li Xiao rubbed her hands together, and gently clicked to open it. The golden light instantly filled every corner of the room, and the original aura of Tiange Pavilion also changed. If Tiange Pavilion used to be like stars, now it is the vast universe. Congratulations to the host for opening the holy gift package, rewarding the host for being promoted to the realm of a 1-star fighting emperor. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the 3 books of high-level fighting skills for self-cultivation. Hongmeng Body Refining Technique, God-Killing Palm, Kunpeng Manufacturing Technique. The host does not need to consider fighting spirit, and can release sky-level exercises infinitely. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Dharma Protection Strength Improvement Card, Niu Meng, Bing Xuan, Lianxue, Ling Long. The strength has increased by 3 stars. Hearing the prompt from the system, Li Xiao became agitated unconsciously. He didn't expect the sacred gift package to be so terrifying. It directly allowed his strength to break through to the realm of the Douhuang, and he also possessed 3 high-level heaven-level fighting skills. It's really terrifying. And it can be released infinitely. You must know that the heavenly rank Kung Fu requires a lot of fighting energy. Even the strongest fighters dare not release it recklessly. Just like the characters in the game, you can't release skills without the blue bar. Once the blue bar is exhausted, you can only be slaughtered. But Li Xiao at this time is different. He doesn't need any blue bars. He can waste infinite fighting energy and release unlimited energy fighting skills. If this spreads, people from the 8 great families will not be shocked. After the excitement, Li Xiao exhaled deeply, and took out the 6-rank Dou Zun card that the system rewarded him at the beginning. The system has already said just now that he can improve the strength of the 3-star protector, so he can simply summon this Dou Zun Powerhouse, so that he can have a 9-rank Dou Zun Powerhouse. Released with white light, a woman with a peerless face slowly fell from the void. The young woman was dressed in a silver dress. She was tall and slender. Although her cheeks were thin, she was a rare beauty. Her skin was as fair as snow, and her eyebrows were picturesque. The most surprising thing was that this woman had waist-length hair. It is actually a rare silver. The long silver hair and a silver dress made her exude a kind of indifferent aura that is repulsive, which makes people have a feeling that can be seen from a distance but not be played with. The white-haired woman landed on the ground steadily, and the crisp high-heeled shoes made a crisp sound when they touched the floor tiles. Subordinate Bai Ling, I have met the pavilion master. Bai Ling knelt on the ground, put his hands on top of his chest, and his long white hair danced along with it. Li Xiao nodded in satisfaction. As expected of the system, all the rewards are women with peerless beauty, which is really conscientious. Immediately, he took out a golden card that can improve his strength from the system, and lightly threw it in the air. In an instant, the Tiange Pavilion shone with a beautiful golden thread, and all the guardians sat cross-legged on the ground at the same time, feeling the gift from the pavilion master. Half-step Dou Zun Linglong was promoted to the pinnacle of the 3-star Dou Zun. Half-step Dou Zun Niu Meng was promoted to the pinnacle of the 3-star Dou Zun. 1-star Dou Zun Frost was promoted to 4-star Dou Zun. 6-star Dou Zun Lianxue was promoted to rank 1 Dou Zun. Rank, Dou Zun Bai Ling was promoted to the pinnacle of rank, Dou Zun. The voice of the system kept coming from the mind, and the strength of all the guardians had also been qualitatively improved. Bai Ling said respectfully, "Thank you, Lord Pavilion Master, for the gift." The subordinates are very grateful. Li Xiao nodded lightly. Get up, go out and get acquainted with Lianxue and the others. I'm going to retreat. Bai Ling nodded, yes, Pavilion Master. Looking at the curvy and stylish Bai Ling, Li Xiao also touched his chin. The system's rewards are really thoughtful, but these are still the people who are rewarded by the system. Although it has flesh and blood and has its own will, it cannot give birth to its own children. It seems that I can only find the people in the original book can give birth to powerful offspring. Now he still needs to absorb the 3 high-level heaven-level fighting skills as soon as possible, so as to make himself stronger. Bai Ling, who left the main room of the pavilion, came to the lobby on the first floor. At this time, Ling Long and the others were discussing the state of their own advancement. After stepping into the Dou Zun Strong, their strength has been qualitatively improved. With advanced exercises, they can leapfrog challenges. It shouldn't be difficult. Lianxue shifted her eyes to Bai Ling, and said with a smile, Bai Ling, you are here. They are rewarded from the system and still know each other. Bai Ling nodded toward several people. Bai Ling has met all the sisters. Hey, why are you being polite with us? Niu Meng strode out and said honestly, my Lord Pavilion Master has added another peerless beauty. Bai Ling just smiled and did not respond, but after seeing Medusa and Yafei, she also showed a sense of joy. Who are these two? Let me introduce you. Ling Long said, this is the auctioneer of Dengtian Pavilion, Yafei, from the Gemma Empire Middle Auction. And this is the strong snake human race, Queen Medusa. The pavilion master bestowed her name, Kalin. Hearing this, Bai Ling simply nodded. Except for the Lord Pavilion Master, no one could match her etiquette. By the way, Sister Bai Ling, where is the Pavilion Master? Why don't you see him? My lord, the master of the pavilion, practiced the exercises in seclusion and ordered me to come out and meet everyone. Bai Ling responded softly, next, let us guard the Dengtian Pavilion. End of this chapter. Chapter 80 The Shock of the Yan Clan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhongzhou Continent, inside the Yan clan hall, several strong men sat on chairs, staring at Huxian, a genius of the Yan clan in front of them. The Dudi bloodline of the Yan clan is almost the same as that of the Lei clan, and there are not a few strong people in the Yan clan, but the most important thing is that the Yan clan has several kinds of supernatural fire blessings, and the combat power of the supernatural fire makes them far surpass the spirits and stones. Medicine family, the most powerful member of the Yan clan is naturally the patriarch Yanjin. Although he only has the strength of the late 8-star Dou Sheng, his control over the different fires is unrivaled. This also allows Yanjin to possess 2 kinds of different fires at the same time. The power of the fusion of these 2 different fires is not even worse than that of the 4th-ranked Golden Emperor Fan Tianyan. Sitting in the main seat, the stunningly beautiful woman in a red robe slowly opened her eyes, looked at the junior in front of her and said, Bone Spirit Lenghua. Everyone knows that it is the strange fire of Yao Chen, the descendant of the Yao clan. Such a small auction will actually come up with such things. Reporting to the Great Elder, it is indeed the case, and I learned that people from the Soul Hall also joined in, and obtained the 8-rank Bodhi pill of the 8-color Sky Thunder from it. What did you say? All the powerhouses in the hall stood up. The Bodhi pill of the 8-color Sky Thunder, this is the existence that can give the 9-turn Dou Zun % chance of breaking through the semi-sage. Fairy Hualing half closed her eyes. Interesting, the auction of the strange fire is already rare enough. I didn't expect that someone would auction the 8th grade Bodhi pill. As the fire spirit fairy under the patriarch of the Yan clan, she is the strength of the 7-star fighting saints in the later stage, and can be regarded as the number 1 under the patriarch of the clan. Fairy Hualing continued, have you ever found out the forces behind Dengtian Pavilion? Huxian shook his head, and replied gravely, Dengtian Pavilion is extremely hidden, located deep in the Warcraft Mountains in the northwest continent. However, there are several Dou Zun in the pavilion, and the strength of the pavilion master is unfathomable. Just one sentence, shattered my wire. This sentence made all the strong people in the field stunned, and the coercion of the 8-star Dou Zun's Huxian was so shattered with just one sentence, I'm afraid no one would believe it. Fairy Hualing caressed her forehead. She also doubted Huxian's words despite her beautiful face. If it was true as he said, there might be other 8 families behind Dengtian Pavilion, but it is absolutely impossible to be the Soul Clan. If the Soul Clan wants to build their own power in other continents, it is absolutely impossible to use the auction to attract attention, and Huxian also said that the other party took out so many treasures for auction, their background must not be underestimated. Who can that be? Could it be the ancient race? Fairy Hualing pondered for a long time before speaking. Send someone to investigate this matter. and don't disturb the people in the Tiange Pavilion. I'm going to meet the patriarch and tell him about this matter. Yes. Xuan, you have merit in taking pictures of the strange fire, and I will reward you after I report back. You already have the strange fire, so the cold fire of the bone spirit is useless to you, so I will take it back. Yes. Xuan didn't dare to have any complaints, and dedicated the bone spirit cold fire with both hands, who said that fairy huling is the number one besides the patriarch. This matter is of great importance, and a peak powerhouse appeared for no reason, which is an unacceptable existence for any force. It's fine if the other party has no ambitions, but once the other party reaches out to the Zhongzhou continent, it will definitely disrupt the peacetime of several major families. Inside the Ascension Pavilion, Xiao, who became the Dou Huang, constantly absorbs the energy of the heaven and the earth, and he has almost practiced the 3 different exercises. Now that his strength has improved, the speed of practicing the exercises is also much faster. To surpass the Dou Huang directly and be promoted to the Dou Huang, I am afraid that I am the only one in the world who can do it. Xiao slowly opened his eyes, exhaled heavily, and the surrounding space exploded, and the breath alone directly tore the space apart. It is conceivable how powerful these 3 types of exercises with different attributes are. Hongmeng body refining technique naturally helps the body improve its ability to fight against blows. When it reaches its peak, even if it is a peak powerhouse, it may not be able to break its own body. God-killing palm is an attack technique. 1 palm strike is enough to destroy the world. The Kunpeng manufacturing technique is similar to the rebirth technique. Even if someone's body is destroyed, as long as the soul is not destroyed, the body can be recreated. All physical bodies made by Kunpeng's manufacturing technique are in the realm of Dou Zun. As long as Xiao wants to, he can produce Dou Zun powerhouses indefinitely. This can also be seen, the importance of the advanced exercises of the heaven rank, in the whole world. The strong ones who can possess this level of skills are all the peak strong ones, and they have even reached a rare level. Xiao shrugged, stood up, looked at the Dengtian Pavilion where the birds were singing and the flowers were fragrant. With a smile on his face, his body trembled, and the 9-colored wings behind him also lit up. Is this fighting spirit transformed into wings? Xiao smiled. No wonder those fighting spirits want to be promoted to the realm of fighting kings even if they put their lives at risk. The effect of fighting spirit transformed into wings is really good. In an instant, Xiao quickly disappeared in place, and when he reappeared, he was already in the sky above Dengtian Pavilion. The moment he appeared, the sky and the earth changed color, the 9-colored radiance shrouded within 100 miles, all beasts bowed their heads, and reverent roars came from the silent Warcraft mountains. Bai Ling and the others also half-kneeled on the ground, saying in unison, "Congratulations, Lord Pavilion Master," that they can naturally feel the aura emanating from the Pavilion Master. Obviously, he has been promoted to the 1-star Dou Huang realm. Teacher. Elder brother. Xiao Yixian and Qinglian also woke up from the retreat after hearing the movement, hurried out of the Dengtian Pavilion, looked at the teacher's body, showing surprised expressions, because the wings behind Xiao are so handsome. Xiao shrugged his shoulders. After releasing the messy fighting energy, he felt much refreshed. It wasn't until he fell on the ground that the energy of the previous riot dissipated. At this time, the little Dr. Immortal has been promoted to fighting spirit, and Qinglian has also broken through to the realm of fighting master. The two can be said to be making rapid progress. Teacher, to what level has your strength broken through? Why can't the disciple see it? The little fairy doctor ran over, took the teacher's arm, and asked softly. You'll know in the future. Xiao scratched Xiao Yixian's nose, and before he knew it, he had been in the Duqi continent for 3 years. Time flies, time does not leave people behind. The little fairy doctor pouted. Teacher, you are teasing me again. Brother, Qinglian feels, you are so strong. Qinglian was still shy, even her voice was filled with a trace of weakness. Xiao rubbed Qinglian's head, and said gently, Qinglian, didn't my brother tell you many times, don't be so weak, you have to become stronger to protect our home. End of this chapter.